Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Albion Obsessed podcast, episode 3, 4. Is it episode 4 now, Toby?
I think it might be 4. Yeah, I think it might be 4.
Episode 4. If that's wrong, then come at me. But yes, hello, everyone. Speaking to you a little bit later on in the week than we would normally have liked to, but obviously we'll try and keep the game fresh in our minds, and we'll go through it all and give you our thoughts. Arsenal obviously came to the AMEX and came away with a point, Toby. First of all, how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, doing all right, mate. I think it speaks volumes when you come away from a game against a team like Arsenal and are upset that you didn't win.
Yeah.
So that's all I'll say on the game for now, and then we'll get into it even more. But that's yeah, it was quite upsetting actually because I thought we deserved the win.
Yeah, definitely. For the most part, we were by far the better team. I did actually go on a Arsenal podcast before the game, Toby, and gave my thoughts of what would happen. I said to them it's going to be a really tough game for them. To be fair, really nice guys. The podcast I went on, I think, was called The Away Gooners. I did give them a shout out when that podcast went live. Really good to chat to them. They did want me to come on after the game, but to be honest, I was knackered and really busy with other stuff. So sorry about that, guys. And hopefully, me and Toby can come on for the away game at the Emirates beforehand and give you our thoughts. But yeah, really nice to chat to you guys. Yeah, top lads. But you didn't get the 3 points from us, so there you go. We'll take that. And Ben White's return to the Amex, Toby, wasn't a particularly sweet one. So I think we can hold our heads up high and be proud of the performance that we did put in. And as you say, when we come away with a point against Arsenal, and we're disappointed, again, shows how far we've come. So yeah, really good stuff. Shall we start with player ratings, Toby?
Yeah. Let's do that. I assume we start from the back, from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, we'll start from Mr. Robert Sanchez. What did you reckon of his performance?
He didn't really have anything to do, really. I noticed early on again he came and caught a cross again, which was good to see. Perhaps look a little bit flustered when the ball was bouncing around the box when Aubameyang hit the post. But at the end of the day, a clean sheet's a clean sheet. I've just got to put him down as like a raw 6.5. Just he couldn't go any higher because he couldn't do anything more.
Yeah, I mean, I've got him down as a 7 for that Smith Rowe chance save. I thought that was a really top save, really kept his composure. But as you say, Toby didn't really have much to do. Obviously, the Aubameyang chance, that was offside. Him and Duffy really stood up well to put him off. And did Aubameyang put it wide in the end, I think?
Yeah, I think it was just Duffy using his strength to push him off the ball. I don't even think he got off.
Yeah, which is really good to see that our defenders can give that aura about them and pressure players. If I say it, a world-class player in Aubameyang, maybe not been world-class for the last season and a half, but he has got it in him to finish those chances. So yeah, really good from them. I've got Sanchez down as a 7, Toby. I couldn't really justify putting him any lower than that, to be honest.
It just shows his quality that he can have an average game like that, still keep a good clean sheet, make a few good saves, and there just really wasn't anything else that he could do to push the team forward. I think it was all down to the attacking players to score the goals, obviously. I really think he's settling in this Brighton team, Robert Sanchez.
Yeah, he's finding his confidence, which I think has been there all along, but it's really coming out. Like for a young player like that to be ordering around a Lewis Dunk, I think we've mentioned it a few times, to have that voice and to be ordering him around and especially like a partnership like Lewis Dunk and Shane Duffy, um, who have played together now for what 5 years, 6 years. Um,
Yeah, I mean, excluding the 1 year on loan, yeah,
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it shows great character that he can have that presence in goal, and I think it's a given in football that if you've got a great goalkeeper behind you, that it just injects confidence throughout the whole team, not even just the defense for me. So yeah, great performance from Sanchez with not that much to do. Shane Duffy, Toby, what did you reckon of his performance?
yeah, it was uh, again. I really felt like Arsenal were just pretty poor in attack, and it felt like every chance they had, they were just going to fluff their lines. So there wasn't really too much for the defenders to do, but obviously we alluded to it there. Duffy made that great. I don't even know what you want to call it. It was a shoulder barge, sort of like getting his body in the way of Aubameyang so that he couldn't take the shot.
Yeah,
Just kept Duffy at a 7.5. Again, it felt like it wasn't an overly defensive performance where someone stood out, but it wasn't an overly attacking performance either. So I didn't really have too many people that stood out for me. But yeah, Duffy played really well. So 7.5, I would say.
yeah, an all-round really good, solid team performance, as you say, Toby. I've actually got three contenders for man of the match, and at the end, you're going to have to press me to choose who I think was man of the match because I've got three players as the same rating. Shane Duffy is one of them, Toby. I've got him as an 8 rating, 8 out of 10. Thought he's really, really back to his best. Commanding that back line alongside Lewis Dunk, you love to see it. After the year he had up at Celtic, away from his family, of course. I'm not sure if his family went with him. Um, yeah, I just love to see a player that got us to the Premier League alongside Lewis Dunk coming back. As he said in his own words, it feels like he's coming home, and he really does look at home at the back there, and it's so good to see. I'm so glad he's also scored this season as well. So yeah, Shane Duffy has an 8 rating for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to beat around the bush too much with the defenders. I actually had them all at the same rating, 7.5. Just
Yeah,
a really solid back line. I'm talking about the three centre back.
yeah, yeah,
Just a really solid back line. I don't think anyone put a foot wrong, per se. I guess the only thing that Dunk did wrong was sort of missing that half chance that ended up as a foul. I think if that
yeah,
went back in the back of the net, I think VAR probably would have given it because I don't think it was a foul on Ramsdale.
yeah.
Um, so that's the only thing that Dunk did wrong. But again, you can't expect him to be a striker and score the goals. So I kept them all at a flat 7.5. I thought they were good, but again, Arsenal
Yeah.
weren't good enough for them to justify me saying that they were amazing.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like this is going to be quite a boring ratings thing for the listeners to hear us talk about because, as we said just now, it was an all round fantastic team performance. So everyone's going to be there or thereabouts around the 7 and 8 marks. I think. I've got Lewis Dunk as a 7.5 as well. And another one of my contenders for man of the match, Toby, was Dan Burn. To be honest, I thought he was utterly brilliant with dealing with Saka on the well our left hand side, their right hand side. I felt like him and Cucurella had really good communication with dealing with a player that really could have hurt us. And to be honest, Toby, I don't know if he's let him out of his pocket yet. So we'll have to see. But yeah, Dan Burn, I really got to go out there and say, um, I put it out after the game. I just put Dan Burn appreciation tweet. I thought he was absolutely excellent. So yeah, there you go for me. Dan Burn with an 8 rating, the same as Shane Duffy. Looking back at that, I think Lewis Dunk maybe didn't do badly enough for me to put him down point 0.5 of a rating. But yeah, I feel like Duffy and Byrne definitely stood out for me. We'll
Yeah,
talk
fair
about the
enough.
wing backs, Toby. Kukurea, another really settled performance. What did you reckon?
Yeah, in fact, he is my man of the match. If we're obviously going to be talking about people getting close, I did feel like he was the only standout player of the game. Not sure if it's because he's new and I wanted to look at him more, but just felt like he was the catalyst for our attacks. It felt like we were never attacking up the right, and it felt like it all went through Cucurella when we were attacking. So for me, he's got an 8.5 as my man of the match.
Yeah, perfect. I've got him down as a 7.5. Um, Maybe I didn't pay as much attention to him as you did, Toby. But that's great. Like we can have two different perspectives and look at the game completely differently. You're sat at one end of the stadium, I'm sat at the other, so we get the whole view really. Yeah, Kukurea 7.5. Again, as I said, really settled performance. Looks like he's adjusting to the Premier League like water off of a duck's back, to be honest. It's just been brilliant to watch, and I really hope it continues. And to be honest, it can get better from him as well. The more he plays like this, the more the fans are getting on his side. The more Amex man of the match performances he gets, it just gets better for him. I think he's had that 2 games in a row at the Amex. I think at Leicester he got man of the match as well. So, yeah, can't disagree with your pick there. But yeah, I wanted to go a little bit different for man of the match for me because I feel like everybody would be saying Kukurea, but much deserved, to be honest. It's great to see. How about on the other side then, Toby Veltman?
Yeah, another one of those performances where he was solid but couldn't really do much. It looked like we weren't set up to attack down the right, and him being sort of on the wing back sort of side of it, um, it just felt like he couldn't offer any more than he did other than being solid. Obviously, got the yellow card, stopped the attack for Arsenal. I think that's the sort of Man City Pep Guardiola type challenge where you get the yellow card on the halfway line rather than the red card when you get to the edge of the box. So yeah, I just another I want to say average, but above average to just keep Arsenal quiet performance. Probably put him as a 7, a little bit lower
Yeah.
than the centre backs, but he was still quality.
Yeah, exactly that. I've got him down as a 7 as well, Toby. Um, did nothing wrong, nothing that I can think of wrong, to be honest. That the challenge to get the yellow card to stop the Arsenal attack, professional foul, fine. You want someone in your team to step up and take that. So yeah, really solid. I would like to see Lamptey come in for Veltman, to be honest, and as you say, balance that attack out and we can attack from the left and the right. I feel like our problem before Lamptey got injured was that we couldn't attack down the left, but we were attacking all down the right, and it's now shifted. Um, so yeah, that'll be brilliant to see when eventually he does come back. But he's got a good 2 week break now to try and get to that peak level of fitness, and maybe we could see him against Norwich, which will be brilliant to see. Not for Norwich fans, they will be shitting themselves. But yeah, for us that'd be great. Moving into the midfield then, Toby. We had a midfield 2 again. I'm not sure because it was interchanging. I feel like maybe I'll say a midfield 3 just so I can group them together. Lallana, Gross, and Moda. We'll start with Lallana. I said against Palace that he didn't really adopt the Basuma role. I don't feel anyone can adopt the Basuma role, but you need somebody to step up and give a little bit of energy and professionalism in the middle. I said Lallana didn't do it against Palace, but against Arsenal, I felt like he was really, really solid. 7.5 for me. What did you reckon?
Yeah, I agree completely. 7.5 as well. Just he felt like he was everywhere. Felt like if it was the left forward part of midfield, he was there. If it was the right back part of midfield, he was there. If it was anywhere in the midfield, he was there to make a challenge, constantly running for the ball, played a couple of good passes. Just looked like he was the focal point of our midfield. Really, really liked that performance from him. 7.5 is probably not just worthy. Maybe if he could have set someone free to score, or if he could have spread it wide and then that person crosses it in and we score, maybe I give him a different rating. But I feel like you've got to cap them at a 0-0 because we didn't score at the end of the day. But yeah, really like that from Lallana. If he can keep that up, then he's going to be fantastic midfielder for the whole season. And I know we've only got a couple of years left of him, but yeah, really excited to see the rest of that. Right, welcome back everyone. Really sorry about that. I had some technical difficulties on my end again, Joe. It's always me.
So it's always one. It's always no. I'm joking. That's fine.
Well, I think we should probably move straight on to Gross because I think I've said my piece on Lallana now. Another one where I just got to say he was good as he can be. Had a few good set piece deliveries. Particularly my granddad is quite a Gross hater. Right. But even he was saying, Gross has put in some good balls tonight. That's why we have him on the pitch, I guess. So I think I'll bump him up maybe 0.5. I'll put him at 7.5 as well as Lallana.
Fair play. Yeah, I've got Gross down as a 7. Feel like maybe he's readjusting to his midfield role, which seems mad for me to say that he has to do that, but obviously he's been playing at wing back for so long under Potter. So it was really nice to see him in maybe a more natural role that comes to him. Especially like, as I said, I feel like he was maybe interchanging with Moder a little bit, where they would like swap being in that front three that Graham Potter likes to play. But yeah, I've got him down as an average 7 rating. As you say, if maybe he thread someone through or gives a delicious set piece delivery that Lewis Dunk heads in, then maybe you bump him up. But yeah, just a 7 for me. And to be honest, Toby, the same for Jacob Moder as well. So yeah, pretty average across the board, to be honest, in terms of ratings, but a really solid performance throughout.
Yeah, I'll say a piece on Moder if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure.
It would be harsh of me to put him down below 7, as I was going to at 6.5, because he wasn't his usual self, and him not being his usual self when he's usually quality doesn't mean that I should bump him down. So I'm going to keep him at a 7. But he didn't look like the Moder we've got used to recently. I think this was one of his off games, and you're allowed that every now and then. And even as an off game, he still looked really, really solid. Like I say, the team just were solid all round. So I'm going to keep him at a 7. But I'll say that I almost put him as a 6.5 because he wasn't quite the same.
Fair enough. Maybe victim to playing a slightly different role, Toby?
Yeah, I think with Brighton, he's obviously not been used to playing in that midfield position. He's been used to playing at wing back. So, again, probably that readjustment.
Yeah, definitely. But during that readjustment, there was no mistakes. There was no sort of, to be honest, until you mentioned it, I didn't really notice it. I just felt like it was a team performance and no one really stepping up to the plate to change the game. Talking about players that could have stepped up to change the game, and for me, as another contender for man of the match, Leandro Trossard, our Belgian Red Devil. He was everywhere across that front line, and just so energetic. Really, really looks like he wants it this season. Maybe the fans being back is giving him that injection to want to perform in front of a full AMEX again. We all know that when he came in, he had a couple of really good performances against notably West Ham when he scored the equaliser, and a couple more, I think, against Norwich as well. So yeah, for me, Leandro Trossard, I have to put as an 8, as well as Duffy and Byrne.
Yeah, yeah. Again, for me, it's the same answer for every player. It's just a really, really solid performance. I agree with you though. Trossard was everywhere on the front line. He probably gets an extra 0.5 because of that. I'm going to keep him at 7.5. Not quite enough for my man of the match. I thought Cucurella edged it for me, but yeah, Trossard, he's different gravy.
He really is.
He almost walks across the midfield, and they can't do anything about it. It's like he's got a force field around him the way he keeps the ball, and I'd just like to see more end product from him from the rest of the season, and then we're flying.
For sure, with him and Malpay up front, Malpay looks to be that little bit more confident, that little more present, I guess, in the front line. I feel like maybe last season during lockdown that he was trying a bit too hard, maybe. But yeah, looks to be back to his natural self. Malpay I've got down as a 7. There's not much you can rate him on, to be honest. Maybe a couple of chances that he could have done a little bit better with. But yeah, for me, if he's not getting the service, which I don't feel like he did get much service, then you can't really rate him on much. So yeah, as we've been saying throughout this whole player ratings, a solid performance all round, and I can't bring myself to put him down as a 6.5. So a 7 for Malpay.
Yeah, I'd have to agree exactly, a 7 as well. It felt like he didn't really get the service to score. And I know you judge a striker on their goal scoring, but I felt like he offered a different thing to the team by dropping a bit deeper this game. Just a shame that it didn't pay off, because I think it could have been a Graham Potter masterstroke if Maupay dropped a bit deeper and then we scored as a result of something like that. I don't think I can put him any higher or any lower. It was just, again, another thing where he was just part of the team.
Yeah, exactly that. And as well for the substitutes, we only brought on 2 substitutes, Toby. So March came on. I can't remember the minute that they came on. So March and McAllister were introduced. March over on the right hand side, Toby. What did you make of his performance when he came on?
I mean, we've said it on the podcast or the live stream before that we want, I said it for sure, but if we want March to play on the right, I said that he has to play further up. And then he came on, and he looked like if he had another 10 minutes, it looked like we probably would have got a goal out of him, or he would have created something, because he looked immense. Right up there, almost as a contender for man of the match, but he just didn't have the minutes for me, and he didn't do it for 90 minutes the same way that Cucurella did. So I've got him as an 8, very close to Cucurella for me. But yeah, he's an unreal baller, March is, and I'd love to see him on the right further up a lot more.
Yeah, definitely. It's another option for Graham Potter. We all know he loves his options. And yeah, really solid performance when he came on. I've got both of the substitutes down as a 7.5 rating. I wish they had that little bit longer, because as you say, March really looked like he could have caused some trouble. Looked a real handful again. It's brilliant to see that he can come on and make that seamless sort of transfer. What am I trying to say? Seamless transition. That's it. Over on the right hand side, and as well for McAllister, whenever he comes on, he gives you what he gives you. This guy is basically the Leo Messi regen. He's so good. I love. Oh, sorry, that was a lovely ambulance going past. He is just fantastic for me, and I would love to see him start. when the lineup came out, I was a little bit disappointed that it was Moda in the front three rather than McAllister. Um, but not overly disappointed because, I believe in Moda's abilities, but I just feel like against Arsenal, McAllister really could have given us that edge that would have seen either a Trossard or Malpe goal. So, yeah, I've got them both down to 7.5.
Yeah, I mean, in the words of the North Stand, there's only two Lionel Messis. um, so yeah, he's a quality player. Again, didn't feel like he had the time to really do anything or make a change in the game. When he come on again with March, looked like they probably could have provided if they had maybe 10, 20 more minutes. But the fact that he didn't have those extra minutes means that I can only keep it as high as a 7 on this one. Just another came on and did what he had to do sort of job. So yeah, no, very happy with our own Brighton Lionel Messi, but still more to come from him this season, I think.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. And what did you make of Ben White's return?
Well, I think he was probably one of the best Arsenal players on the day. Looked really professional. I think I've seen a lot of people on Twitter disagreeing with the boos, and I didn't boo him, but I did sort of do a bit of banter, like you should have stayed at the big club, that sort of thing. I did get involved with the funny parts. I didn't boo him.
No.
I don't think he was worth booing. He didn't leave on sour terms, but you should have stayed at the big club, mate. So that was more just a joke towards Arsenal than it was towards Ben. I was quite disappointed to hear the boo. I'm not sure what did you think?
It was really nice to see him, to be fair. As you say, he didn't leave on sour terms. He left on getting an England call up as a Brighton player, and leaving as a £50 player to a club. £50 million. Jeez, sorry. Oh my gosh. Right, £50 million player to Arsenal, which for us is our, by far our record fee ever received. So yeah, I welcomed him with a slightly warm applause, I guess, when I saw him. And funnily enough, was his first ever time at the AMEX in front of a full crowd as an Arsenal player. Which is crazy. He obviously played against Man City in that 3-2 win, but that was only an 8,000 crowd. So yeah, it must have been a really strange feeling for him to come back and play. Obviously, we saw that nice little picture after the game of Lewis Dunk and Ben White having a little embrace, which is lovely to see. There's obviously still a really good relationship there. So yeah, nice to see you, Ben, but you didn't get 3 points, and we'll see you at the Emirates. I guess you're going to press me to make a decision on my man of the match, Toby.
Yeah, so your 3 options were Trossard, Duffy, and Burn, wasn't it?
That's correct. Yeah.
I know who I would pick. If I was between those 3 and I had to pick one, I think I know who I would pick.
Yeah. I think I'm going to surprise you, and I'm going to go with who I put out as my appreciation tweet after the game. I've got to give it to Dan Burn. Yeah, I just thought he really stood out for me. I'm not sure whether it's because I've got Dan Burn's #1 fan sat next to me at the game. My mum absolutely loves him, so shout out to my mum there. But yeah, for me, really solid performance from him. He gets a lot of shit from Brighton fans, I feel like, maybe unnecessary shit as well. But yeah, I've just got to go out there and say Dan Burn is the next Bobby Moore. There you go. I've said it.
Yeah, no, I mean he is he is a Marmite player. You either love him or you hate him, and I think that he's done really well for the Albion, considering he came from League One. I think he's done really well adjusting to the Premier League, and I'm happy to have him as part of the squad because I think he offers something different. Even during the game when we've got a goal kick, they send him up the top, like the left wing, so that he can win the header. And for me, I think it's unseen, but how valuable that is for us is ridiculous. So yeah, I think he's not too far off being a really established Premier League player. So yeah, really happy that you've noticed his talent and given him man of the match.
There you go. I know for sure that my dad would have picked Leandro Trossard. He was singing his praises after the game in the line for the park and ride. Yeah, he loves a bit of Belgian chocolate. So not sure whether that played a part. But yeah, really great performance all round. Deserved a win, Toby. For sure. The better side on the day. And we won on XG. So basically, give us the 3 points, to be honest.
Yeah, basically. I think every game should be decided on XG.
Yeah.
Actually, having said that, this season we'd probably lose a couple. So I remember one thing that I wanted to talk about as well. A lot of people were giving Saka a lot of shit in the North Stand. I mean, they were trying to get everyone involved. There was a group of probably about 20 or so people, and I like them at the game. They are friends that you meet them at the game, and but they were giving him a lot of shit, and it's like it's a bit. I don't want to say bittersweet, but it's a bit like it feels wrong, but there's a part of me that's like, it's just a bit of banter. And they were saying, you let the country down, I mean, personally, I don't mind it. If you want to chant it, go ahead. I didn't. But personally, I don't mind that little bit of banter. I wanted to hear your opinion on it, because I think a lot of people were tweeting, "Oh, it's wrong. They were so good for us," and yeah, England squad were so good for us, and I'm eternally grateful. That's why personally I won't sing it. But
yeah,
I guess people have the other view that, in fact, it's the penalty that stopped England winning a final. So yeah, I just want to hear your views on that.
I mean, when he missed that penalty, and you saw how distraught he was, for me, that is partly knowing that he's going to go around the country with Arsenal, and he's going to get shit. Maybe not all that, but that was certainly a part of it. But the overriding emotion was, shit, I've just missed a penalty that's cost England the Euros. For me, I'm not sure whether I can go out and say that it's completely wrong, because football banter is football banter. But yeah, I think I agree with you, Toby. I wouldn't do it, because I appreciate what he did for our country. He had me up on my seat, up off my seat, sorry, many times. And yeah, I feel like anyone in that England squad, maybe except for Jordan Pickford, because he's just funny to wind up. But yeah, anyone in that England squad, for me, I'm not going to disrespect. But yeah, I don't overly agree with singing that, and I'm gonna go out and say it. I know a lot of people hate this. They hate us clapping opposing players, but when he came off injured and he walked past the southwest corner, I and a lot of other people stood up and applauded him. Maybe because of that England moment, maybe because obviously he's injured, and we want to say we hope it's not too bad. But yeah, for me, it was standing up and applauding what he can do and what he has done for our country.
Yeah, no, I completely agree that under an England setting, that I would love to be able to just like wait outside Wembley or something and applaud all of the players coming through. I think when I'm in Albion colours at the Albion ground, I think international goes out the window for me personally, excluding paying tribute to recent passing of ex-players, for example. But for me, all of your international colours have to go out the window, because if you give, if for example you clap Saka on the way in, and he's about to start training, and you clap him when he start warming up, he'll be less intimidated by the
Yeah,
AMEX crowd and may turn it on because he feels comfortable being there. He
yeah,
feels comfortable in front of our fans. I think for me, it's not about keeping a hostile, in quotation marks, atmosphere,
yeah,
but it's about keeping that intimidation level at the right point to
yeah.
scare your opposition into losing.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not going to sit here and say, I support this player, I support that player, I'm a fan of this player, because at the end of the day, the only people that matter to me, when they cross that white line, and all throughout until there's an international break, is the players that wear a Brighton badge. They are all that matter to me. But I also feel like there has to be a respect level of football. Um, it's a big debate. I know a lot of people will disagree with me, but for a player that is so young, um, especially with mental health side of things being so prominent in our society today, um, that we don't know. We really don't know. That could still play a huge part in his mind. And to be honest, I'm talking on a personal level now. If me standing up, clapping him, made him have a little bit of a better day, then for me that I'm really happy.
Yeah, no, I think it's good to see the bigger picture in football. Um, I know I'm talking about it from a very tribal. I want my team to win. I want my
Yeah,
hunt to finish. That's my natural instinct as a male human. Your
mm,
natural instinct is very primal, and that's just the way it is.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, coming at it from your point of view, yeah, if you in some cases you never know, save a person's life by keeping them happy.
yeah,
It is prominent. I think you'll find there are probably a lot of pros out there that don't have, obviously they have money, but they don't have the cleanest mental health. I was watching Ben Foster's podcast recently,
yeah,
and he said quite a lot about the mental health of players. He was saying how a lot of them are just heads down in their phones in the changing room, and he and the
hmm,
goalkeeper union were having to tell everyone, get off your phones and start chatting with us. We want to hear about your day,
yeah,
and
yeah,
so yeah, I can fully appreciate that, and that's why personally I didn't choose to sing the song "You Let the
for
Country
sure.
Down," but personally I wouldn't clap at
Yeah,
the home game because they're there. They have the mentality and the mindset that they're there to play the game, and
mm,
I think that they've probably got really good people and support behind the scenes. And you hope that clubs are supporting that in every way that they can. Um,
absolutely.
but yeah, I don't
Yeah,
take it as a personal responsibility for the players' mental health.
no, for sure. I also heard Ben Foster talking about the mental health of football and the fact that these youngsters they instantly get into the change room. As you say, Toby, instantly on their phones, looking up their name to see what people thought about their performance or to see what people think about them. And yeah, it's we've said it across so many podcasts. Centre Circle Spotcast as well. We've spoken about it openly. That social media is a really dangerous place for not even young footballers, but for everyone, including fans. So yeah, I feel like there maybe has to be some sort of um, I don't know, something put in place at football clubs to protect players from social media. Obviously, not taking away their right to have social media because absolutely, but maybe, as you say, maybe just someone there to support them. I've received this tweet. What do I do about it? Okay, report it. Okay, great. How has that affected you? How do you feel about that thought? Yeah, I feel like every single club should have maybe an internal therapist. Maybe they do. We don't know. But yeah. That's my piece on that anyway.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm not sitting here saying that when Harry Kane comes to the AMEX, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to have a sign saying, "Harry, I want your shirt. I love you. You're the best thing in the world." Absolutely not. At the end of the day, I support my boys in the blue and white stripes. Hyper Turk if we're away. That's the be all and end all. But also, I'm a football fan and I respect how they feel. So that's the level I'm at anyway.
Yeah, yeah, no. I mean, sorry, we always like to cover the deep topics. I know it always gets a bit deep with us, but we just want to bring light to issues that matter, I think. And this
Yeah.
is one of those ones where people don't know what's crossing the line and what's not. And I think on Twitter, a lot of people overreact to people
Mm,
booing Ben White or clapping or
yeah.
chanting about Saka and whatnot. I think there's a lot of overreaction. I think we just need to acknowledge that. Up to you what you do, but just remember that your actions have repercussions. And we just always want to say that on the podcast is that
Yeah.
we spread positivity, me and you. I think we do that quite a lot often in the live stream podcast. We use it as a platform for the people that perhaps don't have a voice.
I don't know if you can maybe call my face before the Palace get before the goal against Palace positive. God, that's a meme between me and you, isn't it? Like the amount that we were laughing about that when we were posting that clip was just unreal. But yeah,
and
crazy.
on a lighter note, actually, I got recognised at the game, Joe, for our
Wow,
podcast and live stream. I did message you at the time because I was like, wow. But someone come up to me and
fame at
was
last.
exactly. Someone come up to me and said, "Oh, I saw the clip of you celebrating on Twitter. Oh, that was brilliant, mate, brilliant." It was like I loved it so much. And
Brilliant. That's good.
shout out if you're watching the podcast. But yeah, no,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
for sure.
you love to see it. I mean, it's a weird space, isn't it? Because your target audience is 30,000 people that you sit next to every day. So
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
every weekend or whatever. So it's
But at the end
weird
of
when it finally comes full circle and someone recognises.
Yeah, exactly. It's great. I've had so many people recognize me from Twitter as well. I've got quite a big sort of community that I know on Twitter. And when you walk past someone and go, "Oi, you Joe," and you're like, "I don't know who you are," but it's great to see, and that's what it should be about. It's just a massive family. I know that's really cringe, maybe. I know a lot of people find that cringe, but at the end of the day, when I'm at the Amex, I'm comfortable. I'm around people that I know if something goes wrong or if there's something a bit dodgy that I will be safe. I know a lot of the stewards, I know a lot of the staff, and yeah, it's a great feeling. So yeah, shout out to anyone that recognises us. Come and say hello. And yeah, we'll be more than happy for a chat.
Yeah,
And maybe come on the podcast as well. Yeah,
yeah. Well, that's one thing as well. I think that we've had quite a lot of reception on Twitter of people that want to come on the podcast but don't have something to bring forward to say or do. And I think we had one lined up, which I think maybe still might happen in the future
yeah,
with the you know the one I'm talking about, don't you? I don't want to send any
yeah,
spoilers out, but as long as you know the one I'm talking about, I don't want to send any spoilers out. But if you do have something that you want to say, DM us or tweet us and tell us your opinion if it's completely wildly different, or if someone says like Graham Potter should go, Graham Potter should move on, then come and tell us about it. We'll debate it. And if someone
we'll call you.
says
You're crazy. You're crazy.
if someone says I'm trying to think of another example here, something like a different opinion on one of the games that everyone else might have. If
Yeah,
we won 3-0 and we're all buzzing because we're the best team on earth, and you say, actually, we got lucky. But we want to hear from you. We want to hear even if it's just a tweet, and we mention your tweet on the podcast. We really want that inclusivity for all Albion fans to get involved. So please do get involved, and please let us know what you want to talk about when you come on. It's quite hard for you to just treat us and be like, "Oh, get us on the podcast," but you've not actually got anything that you've told us that you want to share.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
one thing that I've got to say is that we're not looking. I'll put this in quotation marks. Looking for a new permanent third co-host, but if you've got good things to say, then maybe it's an option in the future.
Yeah,
We do want people to get involved, and as long as you've got Discord or Zoom and a good microphone and a camera, or even not a camera if we're doing the podcast, then
no, just
we
audio.
can record your audio for you. We can get it all set up for you, and we'd love to have you involved. But yeah, no. Other than that, that's the only thing I wanted to say is just be prepared if you want to come on the podcast. We normally record 1 or 2 days after the home game, so yeah. Just wanted to put that out there, Joe. Sorry to take the thunder there.
That's all right, mate. No problems. 2 seconds, my recording's doing something crazy. Okay, no, we're good. Yeah, from the last podcast, because I'm recording over our previous one. I have saved the other one. It's just like it. I started hearing your voice again. I was like, "Hold on, what's going on?" But I realised that I hadn't deleted it all. But yeah, really good point there, Toby. If anyone wants to come on, just send us a message. I think our DMs are open. And yeah, get involved. It's all good stuff. Mentioning the next game, Toby, we will be doing another little away day stream. So the Norwich versus Albion game on the 16th, I want to say. On
Yeah,
the 16th.
yeah. Saturday the
Um,
16th, 3 o'clock.
yep, 3 o'clock kickoff. We will be streaming again. Our streams have been going really well. We've scored two 90-plus minute goals in both of them. Not me and Toby, but the team. So yeah, it's been really good fun. So come along, get involved in that, and we will be announcing finally. I'm sure everyone's waiting with bated breath. We'll be finally announcing the winner of the Albion 2014-15 away shirt. So yeah, come along. If you have entered that, maybe we might reveal that you are the winner live. So yeah, come along, and we'll get that sent out to you as soon as we can.
And
Sorry, go on, Toby.
I was going to say, just to create another point before we get on to the Norwich predictions. Did you know that Brighton are currently the shortest odds we've ever been to finish top six at 9-2, which isn't really bad odds at all. I think it looks like it's somewhat likely rather than not at all likely. So it's just another positive Brighton fact of the day.
I'll take it, Toby. I'll take it. Are we top of the XG charts as well?
Unfortunately, not. Our XG has actually been shocking this year compared to last year. I think
I'll take it.
Graham
I
Potter
will
must have
take
done
it.
something right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, as you say, another really positive one. But I I can really see us having a really really high finish this year. Top 10 for sure. For me, I don't want to sit here and be arrogant and say, oh, that's guaranteed. We're finishing top 10. But the way we're playing, the results we're getting, it's a real possibility, and people have to start recognizing that. Um, Obviously, really, really big tests coming up, notably against Man City at home, Liverpool away, etc. Um, but yeah, really excited to see how we fare against them. Um, Obviously, our first or next test in October is Norwich away. Obviously, they haven't been doing overly well, Toby. The whipping boys of the Premier League whenever they come back up. But I'm not going to sit here and slate them too much because you know what will happen. But yeah, what are your predictions?
um, I'm not optimistic for Norwich. Not for Norwich. Not for Brighton at Norwich. Um, yeah, I think this is going to be our biggest away day win ever in the Premier League. I think we're going to win
Wowzers!
4-0. And I think it's
Wow.
going to be a
Okay.
statement result. I think Albion are going to come out and they're going to make a statement against Norwich, and they're going to be, we are here, we want Europe, that sort of statement. And I
Yeah.
don't think we'll get Europe. I just want to put that out there, but I think they're going to make that statement.
Can you make that statement against Norwich?
I mean, winning 4-0 against anyone in the Premier League away is a big result. That's what Man City fans expect from their team, who are going to win the league. You know what I mean? So if you make that sort of result against any team in the league, you're making a really good statement, I think.
Yeah, fair play. I was playing a little devil's advocate there. Just wanted to get your opinion on that. But yeah, I really hope it's a really good, solid all round performance. Again, we're showing this season that we can blow teams away if we turn up. And yeah, I really think it will be another 3 points on the board. And we will be halfway to safety by that point. That's a little bit of a negative spin on it, looking at safety first. But I feel like that's always the players' mentality. You know, in the interviews, they're always saying, well, our first goal is to stay up. But yeah, for me, that it's going to be much higher this year. I'm going to go for Albion 3, Norwich 1. So I don't think it's going to be our highest. But yeah, maybe, as you say, Toby, a nice statement win to show people that we can go away, we can go to the teams that are in the relegation battle, and we can beat them. That was our struggle, maybe for the last 2 seasons, that we weren't faring overly well against the teams that we. Again, I don't want to sit here and sound arrogant, but the teams that we should be beating, especially for what we want to achieve.
Yeah, and I mean, it's always nice to have a tweet in your drafts ready for after we beat Norwich. Having watched Brighton today, and I know I'm not impartial, but you have to be really excited about this Norwich team full of homegrown talents coming up. Jake Humphreys, you're living rent-free up here, mate.
I'm not sure. I think we're living rent-free in his head. I know that it's quite the touchy subject between pundits, that obviously when Graham, not Graham Potter, or when Houghton left, when we did we sack Houghton, or did he leave?
I think it was mutual consent, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So yeah, we get a lot of still to this day. We get a lot of shit for that move, and I think maybe some pundits are going to have to eat some humble pie, and see how far our club has come since Chris Houghton. This is no disrespect for what Chris Houghton done for our club. He got us here. He established us with some difficulties. But now Graham Potter's taken us to that next level, and pundits really have to sit back and say that they were wrong for saying what they said, especially with some of the claims they made against our board. I'm not going to mention those claims, but there was a few of them. And yeah, look at where we are now. Look how high we're flying, and long may that continue.
Yeah, and I think the only problem is our record at Carrow Road, I don't think is phenomenal. And I've got to say, I remember when we were trying to win the league, and 2 David Stockdale own goals when the ball came off the crossbar, and I think last time we were there in the Premier League we beat them. But
yeah, 1-0.
Looking over the previous results, Championship, they beat us 2-0 obviously, but we beat them 5-0 at the AMEX. So it's always a good game between us. 3-3, another memorable Championship result.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't like to put it down to voodoo and whatnot, but it is a tough game, Norwich, but I really think that we're going to go and make a statement. Like I say, I'm going to keep that in my head.
Yeah, if I remember correctly as well, that 2-0 loss in our title challenge, that they were 2 strikes from a certain Alex Pritchard as well. So yeah, that wasn't great to see. But I think our players had been out on the town a few nights in a row, and weren't quite up for it. Who could blame them? You know, when I look back at that season, I look at the last three games. Is there a part of me that still hurts? Maybe. But at the end of the day, I can't sit there and blame the players for celebrating the way they did. Um, so yeah, fair play to them. Is there a part of you that still hurts looking at those last three games?
Definitely. Mainly because my best mate is a Newcastle fan.
Oh, that's never fun.
So that's probably the worst part. And we were there watching the Sky Sports News as the results came through, and it was against Aston Villa, and you hear Jess Dennon shout, "Oh, news coming from Villa Park!" Just really, really wound me up. It did, and then obviously I'm sitting there like, "Oh, we deserved that, we deserved that," and then he pulls up the stats for the season, and Newcastle had more wins, more goals, less losses. It was just,
Yeah.
he tore me to shreds, and yeah, I didn't like that one bit, and I wish we could have won that league, but we didn't. And look, maybe we're a better team for it, because
Maybe. Who knows what could have happened?
if we went up winning the league, maybe Chris Hughton stayed in his job an extra season because he won us the league. You know, that
Yeah.
there's little things like that, the butterfly effect. Maybe
And
Graham Potter wouldn't be available.
I really feel like David Stockdale would have stayed if we'd won the league. I feel like maybe he was a little bit forced out by I'm not going to say by fans, because you know fans have their opinion, and David Stockdale was always the first to admit where he maybe done wrong. But yeah, maybe if we did win that league and there weren't those that you know detrimental mistake from David Stockdale at the end to cost us, maybe he would have stayed. And I would have loved to see that, to be honest. But the ifs and buts of football are so crazy that you know who knows what would have happened. Maybe in the first season of the Premier League, we would have signed a marquee striker, and we would have been a more attractive team. You know, this is a team that won the championship. Who knows? But to be honest, looking back at it, I wouldn't change it for the world. For where we are now, for what the chairman wants, for what the manager wants, for the team that we're seeing in front of us, the best team to ever pull on an Albion jersey. So yeah, you love to see it, and long may it continue, as I said.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, couldn't agree more. So yeah, so we both think a Brighton win against Norwich. I want everyone to tune into the live stream and enter the competition, the giveaway, which is our pinned tweet.
Yeah, for sure.
If you just RT that tweet and follow us on Twitter, and we'd be grateful if you follow us on Twitch as well, but you don't have to. I know not everyone has a Twitch account.
No.
But you will need a Twitter account, and you will need to follow us and RT on that one. We will do a live draw at the next game. I can bring up the screen which will show the draw happening on the stream, so you can see it live. You can see your name pop up. But yeah, we would love to have you there. We had really good reception at the last stream. We had about 10 concurrent viewers in the first half. And then again, we had about 600, 700 views on the clip of us celebrating the goal. So we'd love to have you around. Trust me, it gets crazy if we score. And it's a shame because we spent the whole of both last two games, the whole game, just hands on our chin, looking devastated as we couldn't score for 90 minutes, and then we do in the 90 pluses. So
exactly,
you're going to want to be around for it.
100%, 100%. Yeah, it's been a really good pod, Toby. Nice to chat to you again, mate. Yeah, we'll see you all next time on the stream, hopefully. I'm going to leave you with this question, guys, to ponder over the next week or so. Toby, why did they let it bounce? Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.